So, are you ready to explore transitiondiscoveries.org? This is your one-stop shop for all things preparing for success after high school. Before you dive in, here's a super quick overview of what's here and how to find it. Everything begins with the homepage. Here you'll find information about our resources on this site and how to access them, like the Transition Discoveries infographic guide, activities, and lesson plans. There are also links on the homepage to get connected with Transition Discoveries and transition in your community. See that menu at the top of this page? Well, that's how you'll move around the site. After the homepage, there is part of the menu called About Us. When you hover your mouse pointer over it, a drop-down menu will appear with plenty of places for you to explore. In fact, there are drop-down menus that appear for each menu item at the top of the site. By the way, the About Us page will tell you who we are and what we do, and a little bit about all the awesome people who make TransitionDiscoveries.org possible. Here's where the really good stuff is waiting. Click on the Framework menu item and you'll be transported over to a space where you can learn about all things that should happen to prepare for success after high school and throughout life. Start off by exploring the first menu item called Our Framework. This explains a bit more about all of the categories in this menu. There are 9 pages, one for each category. Each page is written for young people to learn about specific areas of preparing for success after high school and throughout life. There are videos explaining the topic in a minute or two, as well as short text blurbs with key info. It's helpful to think of the 9 categories as the branches of a big tree, the Transition Discoveries tree. Each branch has leaves, and so do our 9 main categories, but instead, they're subtopics. You can access videos, information, and activities for each category and subtopic by clicking on their icon. Hey transition stakeholders, we didn't forget about you. Here's something to get really excited about. See the menu item called Resources? Well, the Transition Discoveries team has created a complete curriculum based upon the 9 areas of the Transition Discoveries framework and their sub-areas, which there are 54 of in total. So we have 54 transition lesson plans with all needed handouts for activities and assessment. All lesson plans are even aligned with the Common Core standards. We also have 54 tip sheets for young people to engage in self-guided learning around transition before and during these lesson plans. These have a heavy emphasis on them learning skills and trying things out in the real world, like preparing to lead their IEP meeting. Each tip is aligned with a lesson plan. Think of it this way. Young people start off learning about transition on the pages within our framework. Then, by doing a tip sheet of activities related to one of those categories, they start to build their knowledge. Transition stakeholders can then extend their knowledge and learning further by using one of our lesson plans in our curriculum with their young people. But wait, before we go and you start exploring, there are even more spaces to learn on TransitionDiscoveries.org. We have a What Works Data Hub with information about effective transition practices in communities that partner with Transition Discoveries. Check out that page's video for more information. Speaking of partners, the projects section of the site will give you information on our current work with communities. Wouldn't it be awesome to hear about transition success stories in these communities? How about reading a blog around an effective transition practice that you might use in your own work? The What's Happening section of the site has you covered. Be sure to also check out our social media and event calendar in this section of the site. And finally, if you're ready to get involved with Transition Discoveries, jump on over to the Get Connected page.